Well, hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. I have a list of topics that I'm going to be doing individual videos on the next several days, possibly at least a week and a half worth of videos right there, and also subjects that I'm going to be covering in weekend live streams. But I saw a question posted that just stopped me in my tracks. The person who was posting the question basically was doing some work for an individual, creating some fine art prints, and that individual, in other words, we'll call him the customer, was 100% vegan. And he was wondering if the papers were vegan. Yeah. That kind of stopped me for a while, and I thought, what are you talking about? Well, apparently, if the binder used to bind the paper fibers, it could be wood type paper, it could be fiber type paper, it could be cotton rag type paper, and many other types of papers. But if the binder is a gelatin base, when gelatin comes from animals, that would not be something he would want. Is there a vegan paper? Wow. That is a question that I really cannot answer for sure. Now, back in the days of film and also darkroom papers, the kind that you had to develop with chemicals, the emulsion was always 100% gelatin based, and gelatin comes from the bones and hoofs of cows and other animals. They extract the collagen, and that's basically what they used to create the emulsions for film, as well as the emulsions for photo papers that had to be developed. Now, do we still use gelatin on papers such as these? This is an RC type paper, a resin coated paper, Canon Pro Luster, and then we have 100% wood pulp paper again. But what is the binder? What is the binder that binds all of those fibers together into a sheet form? I really don't know. I suppose you can use some sort of starch type product, but that creates a lot of fluorescence. So that, I mean, I was really thinking about that, and I was discussing it with my wife about, some people might call this guy crazy. I don't. I mean, that's his choice. That is his choice. I eat meat, but I really probably eat about 80% plant-based meals. I occasionally have meat. I don't eat meat that often. It just doesn't sit well with me. So it's not because I am anti-meat, but you know what? I am anti-fur. I am anti-other things. And I'm not a left-wing nut or a right-wing nut. I'm none of those. I'm right around the middle. I'm pretty moderate, if you ask me. So would I stop printing because papers are not made with non-animal byproducts? I mean, really, the binder for the old papers that came out, at the turn of the century for inkjet printing, they were all based with gelatin. They had gelatin coatings. They were swellable papers. That gelatin coating would swell as ink was deposited on it. The ink literally was melted into the gelatin coating, and then it was encapsulated within it, and that created a relatively long-lasting print, unlike some of the RC papers of today, especially using them on third-party inks. So again, I just thought, wow, this is an interesting question. Who the heck makes a totally vegan paper? Well, some of the responders to this question came up with answers. Apparently, HALIMUN does. Now, what other binding compound could you use other than gelatin? Glue? I don't think you will use glue. Okay. How about agar? Agar comes from the sea. It comes from seaweed, I believe. And that's what we use to create our microbiology culture plates. That's what agar is. It's sort of like a gelatin. It dissolves in water. You autoclave it to sterilize it. You pour it in liquid form onto a petri dish, and it solidifies once it becomes at room temperature. It is a pretty good binder. Can agar be used to bind paper fibers to create vegan type paper? I really don't know. Please don't criticize. This is, again, like I said, this is a free country, and whatever you wish to use is what you will use. And I'm not saying one way or another whether, this is wrong or that is wrong. But again, it just kind of made me think about that. And I thought, okay, well, can you imagine a photographic exhibition at a PETA meeting, and somebody brings up the point that, oh, those papers are bound with gelatin, and that's the result of slaughtering cows. Yeah, see what I mean? So it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit odd, a little bit different, but again, something that I thought, okay, that was interesting, even though I didn't really have an answer for the person. But apparently Hanamiel makes a paper that is 100% not made with animal products. I don't know what the paper is. Somebody mentioned it off the cuff, and it didn't really, register with me. But what do you guys think about that? Have you ever thought about that? Even if you are vegan, would you stop printing because your papers that you use may be using gelatin or other animal products as a binder? Interesting question. Please let me know in the comments below, and I will go ahead and discuss that with you as much as I can, which is, again, not much because I'm not really that well versed on paper manufacturing. I just thought I would throw that at you and see what you guys think. A lot of you may be a lot more educated than I am on the methods used in paper manufacturing, and it could be something as simple as this bond paper. Obviously, there is a binder in there that is keeping those wood fibers together. That pulp that they use to create paper, it's got to be bound somehow, right? All right, that is it. We'll stop right here before this gets a little bit too controversial. We don't want to do that, especially in this channel. So thank you so much. Again, we're going to have lots of videos coming up in the near future, and I'm thinking about this weekend. I still have a bad cold, but there's a Super Bowl going on at the time that I am going to be live streaming. Will I get any viewers? I don't know. I will let you guys know on Saturday tomorrow whether I even decide to postpone it or not. If I get enough people from other countries, maybe I will go ahead and hold the live stream anyway, regardless of how many people we get or not. All right, anyway, enough of that. Happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.